Good morning. Thanks for joining me this morning. Today's focus is going to be the earth element in balance. So for me, the first thing for earth element is my feet. So let's stretch out our feet. So putting one foot back, do your mirror image. So put your left foot back and just put the tops of your feet on the floor. Just stretch out the tops of our feet. And we'll be working with the spleen and the stomach meridian. And the spleen meridian actually starts right on the outside of our big toe, goes around our arch, and then our stomach meridian actually ends on the top of our foot on another toe. So stretching out, we'll be working with those meridians today. And now put your toes on the ground and let's stretch out our arches. Seeing where you are with your balance today. And then let's stretch other foot. So just the back of our foot. Just feeling into how much pressure feels right to just stretch the tops of our feet, tops of our toes. And if you're wobbling like me, you might want to hold on to something. And then put your toes on the ground and lean into it. You'll feel it. And so stretch out your toes. And then maybe shift your weight a little bit. And shift out your arches. And that's a spot where the spleen meridian is moving through. And then let's switch legs again and let's just circle our heel. As you circle your heel, maybe as you come forward, come over on the, kind of keep with our feet, right? So stretch out the tops of our toes. And also starting to warm up our joints, our knees and our ankles and our hips. And let's go back the other way. Now the earth element is typically associated with kind of that Indian summer, but it's also associated with transitions. So I chose today, if you feel agitated, maybe there's a lot of changes happening in your life, connecting with the earth element can be grounding, centering. So that'll be the hope for today. So opening up your knees and your hips and slow it down. And then with your feet comfortable, maybe hips width apart, close your eyes. And just invite your awareness to just make its way down your body and kind of sliding down into your feet. Invite your feet, almost like the energy of your feet to merge with the energy of the earth, sending roots deep down. And then shift your awareness to your tailbone. And your tailbone also can help us feel grounded. So invite your tailbone to just soften, almost like it's an antenna. So connecting you to the earth. Now we've got our feet rooted, our antenna tuning in. Just notice how that feels. And then just let your chest be soft. Then picture a thread of white light lifting the crown of your head up. And I picture it lifting you up toward a star in the sky, not just any star. So it's lifting you up, connecting you to your soul star. And that star represents your highest self. So our feet and our tailbone have us rooted. And then the crown of our head with that thread lifting up toward our soul star. And then take a slow, deep breath into your lower belly. And a slow breath out. Let's do one more like this. A slow, deep breath as your belly moves away from your spine. And a slow breath out. And turn your awareness inwards. And just notice. And then opening your eyes with your knees soft. Let's start with the wise owl turns its head to eliminate fatigue. Let's first just start with our owl arms. So you've got your thumbs facing in towards your midline. And your knees soft. Now as you stand taller, your shoulders will rotate as your thumbs turn away from you, but also kind of reach out, opening up, stretching your fingers. Let's do that with our breath. So inhale, sink. And then exhale, stand taller and stretch out through your fingers. Inhale, bring your owl wings in. And exhale, bring your thumbs as you stretch and open up your fingers. So let's out our head. So just gently gliding your chin over one shoulder. And then inhale the center. And then gently gliding your chin over the other shoulder. I'm sorry about is what it is. So shift, inhale, and then exhale and turn. As you play with the wise owl, turns its head to eliminate fatigue. Play around with what happens if you maybe tilt your chin down a little bit. Let's see if that changes the stretch. Also can play around with your teeth. So if your teeth are apart or together, notice if that changes anything. Let's do one more to each side. Let's do it really slowly. So stretch, luxurious, wise owl. Inhale, center, and exhale. And then shake it out. Then when your knees soft again, lifting up your elbows, let's inhale and just open up your chest as you look up to the heavens. And then as you exhale, round your back and tuck your tailbone under. Since our focus is our balancing our earth element, let's keep our focus in our feet. So as you inhale, notice your feet as you sort of almost push up. And as you exhale, sink into your feet. And if it works for you, put your awareness in your feet and your tailbone. So inhale, as you exhale, inviting your tailbone to tuck and your feet to root. Just notice focusing on our lower part of our body, just how that influences how this feels in your body. Inhale, opening your chest, looking up to the heavens. And then exhale, rooting to the earth. Let's do one more. And slow it down. And then float out to your mirror image. So float your left hand so that your little fingertips are pointing towards your ear. Now take your right hand and have your fingertips, whatever, so comfortable. See what your shoulders are doing. And then your ribs. And find a stance, maybe just a little wider. You're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to push your palms away from each other. And then you're going to windmill your arms and change places. So exhale, sink as you push your palms away. Inhale, stand taller as you windmill your arms to change places. So the name for this movement is raise the hands to condition the spleen and the stomach. So super anatomical. Another name is between heaven and earth. So as you sink, grounding to the earth, but also connecting to the heavens. So exhale, sink, inhale. So this movement conditions, as the name says, the conditions are spleen and our stomach. Realizing in traditional Chinese medicine, our spleen and our stomach are way beyond the sort of anatomy of these organs, and they encompass a lot. And so, yes, it's about taking in nourishment, digesting that nourishment. That nourishment comes in many forms, comes in food, comes in liquid. It also comes in our experiences and our emotions. So let's slow it down even more. So take a breath in and exhale, floating your arms. Meanwhile, this is great for waking up our shoulders and sink between heaven and earth. Raise the hands to condition the spleen and the stomach. Do this a few more times and you might say, all right, spleen, spleen, I've heard about spleen, where's my spleen? So kind of go to your ribs, drop below your ribs, and right there on your left side, kind of wraps around. I unfortunately have done a lot of pig dissections with students, so I can picture it, but you may not have had the honor. So it's kind of long and skinny. And I think our stomach we have intimate relationship with, I think. Let's do one more to each side. And slow it down. And then bringing both palms facing up to the heavens. Now take your right palm at your lower belly, your left palm facing the earth. And in this movement, you're going to shift just from your waist. Now the temptation is to take your hips along, right? And you'll know your hips are going if your knees go. So be rooted, right? You're going to be rooted from your hips down. And as you push, you're going to push from the inside out. So this is sort of an internal strength, and you're going to push just from your waist. It's called push palms, turning waist. Come back to center. And you're going to change hands. So the left hand will stay steady right by your lower belly. So with your breath, take a breath in and exhale as you push palm and turning your waist. Now, as you can imagine, this is great for your spleen and your stomach. But it's about cultivating that inner stability, that inner strength we find with the earth element in balance. So exhale, inhale together. I'm going to try just bending a little as I exhale and then straightening a little. And then exhale, turn. Push palm, turning waist. Let's do. And notice if you're just moving from your waist, nail to center, and moving from your waist. And let's do one more, each side. Take a breath in, and exhale, and then shake it out. And then standing with your feet pretty wide, toes facing out. Let's just shift our weight from side to side. And letting your arms be just heavy, like a rag doll. And then turning from your hips and your waist, knocking on our waist. And our waist is our chi belt. That's actually a thing. It's our only meridian that goes horizontally. There's also a bunch of acupressure points that kind of come up through our waist or down through our waist. And again, our spleen and our stomach. And then probably the most important is we're knocking on a point smack in the middle of our spine, straight back from your navel. And it's called, I pronounce it very American, so it's Mingmen. I would always say Mingmen, but it's actually Mingmen. It's our Mingmen. Well, I'm not saying that correctly, but really you get the idea. So our door of life. And so it's a great point for vitality. So knocking on our Mingmen. And then let's bring our front hand and just knock right under your collarbone, over on the side, knocking on our beginning of our lung meridian. Really great points for lungs, lung health. Also our immune system. And then if it feels right, up and over to our traps. And that's where some, believe it or not, gallbladder points pass through. There's one right that we're knocking on that's good for decision making, which I find is kind of linked to the earth element and balance, releasing that worry. And then let's drop it back down. And then back down to our chi belt. And then gradually slow it down. And then with your hands in front of you, sinking, imagine that you are looking at the reflection of the moon. And we'll do looking at the moon. And this is a You're going to inhale. Just imagine you're kind of lifting that moon up into the sky, up behind you, while your back heel comes off the ground. Now exhale as you sink down and in front of you. Now inhale, turning from your hips and your waist, lifting that moon up into the sky and come back down. So this movement, even though I thought we were working on that earth element, we've got the moon. Now the moon is something that's kind of always waxing and always waning. In fact, I just recently learned that full moon is for a moment, right? It's not the full moon like the day, it's for a moment. And so that continual waxing and waning, and then how do we kind of ground into that stability, even with that waxing and that waning. So let's even go a little more slowly. So inhale, float up. Exhale, connecting to that stability in our center. We'll do one more. And then slow it down. And just turn your awareness inwards. And just notice any tingling or any sensations. And then opening up your eyes. And just do a few hip circles. Feeling your feet. Noticing your feet as they kind of make their own little circles. And what we're opening up our hips to do, a variation of serving tea. One that I think especially helps us connect to the earth and our groundedness. All right, so slow it down. So in this serving tea, you're going to have your palms facing up to the heavens. Imagine that you're holding, and maybe someday you'll feel like ready to actually hold a real teacup. You're holding a teacup, and in that teacup is very precious chi. But in this movement, we're going to have our feet very wide as feels comfortable. And check your toes, turn them out. We're going to do a bit of a squat. And this is a create your own adventure. Now, when I squat, I look down and my knees are starting to sort of cave in, which later it's not going to feel so good on my knees. So I'm going to invite them to sort of gently pull back so that they kind of line up with my toes. And if they're not doing that, you might make a shallower squat. All right, so that's the beginning. Both teacups by our lower belly. Now with your right teacup, you're going to be rooted, right? Your lower body is rooted to the earth. And you're going to turn from your hips and your waist as you bring your teacup out. Now you're going to bring that teacup behind you and in front of your face and around. Breathing in a relaxed way. Yeah. So my invitation is to keep your focus on your feet. Keep your focus on your lower legs rooted and just relax your arms. Relax your shoulders. Relax your pelvis. And back behind and around. And then once I get going, kind of hard, like how do I stop? So let's slow it down. And then I'm going to give my legs a little break. In fact, maybe even forward fold. Wiggling my tailbone a little bit. And bend my knees and tuck my tailbone under and roll up. All right, so let's try the other side. So find the depth of a squat. Feels right. Invite your upper thighs to come back a little bit. Put your right hand at your lower belly with your palm on. Your left hand with your palm up, turning from your waist, come out. Now reach back and invite that stability, connectedness to the earth. Just feel your rootedness. And then, of course, with this movement, figuring out what we're just playing with. How fast or slow. And the goal being kind of joyful play and fluidity and ease. So, up behind And shake out your legs, maybe a little hip circles. See how that feels. And if you're still with me, let's try the other way. So finding your squat, palms up to the heavens. So the first time we went right, I think we did, we went in, right? So this time we're gonna go out. You go out, around, and then tuck under. Now in front of your face and behind. So it's kind of the same movement, but in reverse. Same principles. Feel your feet just rooted. Relax your shoulders. Relax your elbows. Relax your fingers. And then decide, I feel like, what would happen if I relaxed a little bit. And just invite that fluidity in your upper body. Yeah. And I kind of don't want to stop, but I have to stop. So let's see. And slow it down. All right, we have one more side. So find your squat. Lift your teacup. Bring your left teacup up. And then this time we're going to go out. And then tuck under, behind, and over. Yeah. And notice that when you remember to sink into your feet, remembering to invite your inner thighs to sort of just pull out just a little bit. So you're being kind to your knees. And then what happens when you kind of explore the range of motion, right? Stretching out or not. And let's do one more slow, luxurious teacup. Straighten your legs, have your toes face forward, and just relax your head and your neck and your shoulders. Maybe give a little wiggle to your tailbone. Maybe exhale out your mouth with a inviting the muscles in the backs of your legs. Just lengthen your lower back. And then bending your knees, tucking your tailbone under. Just roll up. And standing with your feet probably about shoulders width apart. Bring your hands right below your belly and put your awareness in the center of each palm. And imagine that there's a beam of light connecting your palms. And float your hands apart as that beam of light expands. And then as you bring your hands together with your intention, have that beam of light condense. And with our breath, inhale. As the beam of light expands, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Floating your hands away. And we're sort of inviting this ball of energy to grow. So inhale as it gets taller, and exhale. We'll inhale as we get taller, so stand a little taller, and then exhale, sink. Inhale, standing taller as your ball of light expands. So now, as if there's strings on your wrists, just float your wrists up, and exhale, sink. We're shifting into Soaring Crane. Inhale, float. Exhale down, and almost as if your shoulders move and your elbows and your wrists and down. Let your breath float your hands up and float your hands down. And so whenever I'm finding myself feeling like my earth element is out of balance, all sorts of worry, flying, right? Getting that bird's eye perspective. While our feet are rooted. Yeah. Now as you inhale, this time, shift your weight to your right leg and just stand on your left leg. And then come down. And we're going to shift and down. So putting all your weight in your right leg, feet on your toes, and down. And then if it feels right, as you inhale, lift up, and then toe heel down. So inhale, taller, and exhale. Soaring Crane, leg. So inhale, stand taller, and exhale, sink. Inhale, stand taller. So as you shift, lifting up, crown of your head toward that soul star, and then toe heel, sink down. Inhale up, and exhale. Let's do one more. And coming both feet. Inhale, stand taller. And exhale, sink. And just notice how this feels in your lower body as you're rooted to the earth, now with both feet rooted. And each time you flap your wings, have the flap be just a little smaller. We're shifting back down, playing with our chi ball. And then bringing that chi ball really close to our lower belly. Inhale and exhale. And put your awareness between your palms. And as you inhale, picture that ball glowing brighter. Inhale, expand, and exhale, condense. And then as you take your next inhale, imagine taking that chi ball and then just bring it down through your body. So we'll shift to pulling down the heavens. So connecting to the earth, turning our palms toward the heavens, connecting to that energy of the sun and the moon and the stars. And then now that, so inhale, floating up, and exhale, inviting all that lovely energy from the universe and the earth to shower down. Do one more. And exhale down, bringing your feet together and your hands at your lower belly. Closing your eyes and sink your awareness into your feet. And invite your feet to just merge with the earth as you send roots down into that nourishing energy of the earth. And then invite the crown of your head to lift up, connecting you to your soul star, star that represents your highest self. And then inviting your body to rock and sway in just little micro movements, like your seaweed in the ocean. And take a slow, deep breath into your hands. And a slow breath out. And turn your awareness inwards. Then gliding your hands up to your heart center. Thank you.